happens when swagger meets fearlessness. Allen Iverson didn't just play basketball. He walked into the league and flipped the culture on its head. He wore braids, tattoos, oversized jerseys, and didn't care what anyone thought. 2 decades later, Morant came flying into the NBA with the same defiance, but in a different language. One was the answer. The other, he might be the question nobody saw coming. Both were called too small. Both laughed and dunked right over the Giants. And both gave the league something it couldn't ignore: attitude. But who really owns that rebel crown? The blueprint of rebellion, Allen Iverson. Let's go back to the late 90s. The NBA was still recovering from the Michael Jordan era. Everything was polished, professional, and, honestly, kind of stiff. Then came a 6-foot guard from Hampton, Virginia, who looked more like a rapper than a point guard. Allen Iverson didn't care about fitting in. He was the culture. He was drafted #1 overall in 1996 and instantly made noise. AI's first crossover on MJ was more than just a move. It was a statement. He didn't fear legends. He came to break ankles, not shake hands. By 2001, Iverson carried a team of role players to the NBA Finals, taking down Vince Carter, Ray Allen, and Reggie Miller along the way. And let's not forget Game 1 against the Lakers. 48 points, an iconic step over Tyronn Lue, in one of the coldest playoff performances ever. He didn't have a super team. He was the team. Iverson wasn't just buckets. He was headlines. He challenged dress codes, clashed with coaches, and said what he felt. Remember the infamous practice rant? That wasn't just a meltdown. It was Iverson fighting against a system that never fully accepted him. Still, through injuries, criticism, and endless double teams, he never backed down. He played with broken bones. He took hits like a heavyweight. And somehow, at just 165 pounds, he led the league in scoring 4 times. He wasn't polished like Kobe. He wasn't strategic like Tim Duncan. He was raw, and that rawness made him legendary. The Skywalker of this era, enter Morant. Fast forward to the 2020s. Instagram highlights, TikTok mixtapes, viral dunks every night. And in the middle of it all, Morant. Drafted 2nd overall in 2019, didn't take long to introduce himself. In his rookie season, he fearlessly attacked the rim like he was trying to tear it down. It felt like Iverson's attitude had found new legs and a 44-inch vertical. Wasn't just fast, he moved like water. One moment he's crossing up a defender at half court, and the next he's levitating above the paint. By year 3, he was already being mentioned in the same breath as Derrick Rose and Westbrook, and even Iverson. But here's what makes him different: timing. Iverson existed in a world of mixtapes and word of mouth. Was built for the algorithm. One dunk, one stare down, one viral clip, and the world's watching. He dropped 52 points on the Spurs, had a buzzer beater off an inbounds pass with 0.4 on the clock, and jammed on 7-footers like they were traffic cones. Every night felt like a highlight waiting to happen. That's not hype. That's just what does. Even legends took notice. Kevin Durant once said, watching feels like watching a glitch in real life. That kind of athleticism doesn't just entertain, it intimidates. But the same fearlessness that makes electric also makes him risky. Let's talk about the off-court moments. In 2023, was suspended after flashing a firearm on Instagram Live. Not once, but twice. The league was stunned. The fans were split. Some said he was throwing it all away. Others said he was being targeted for simply being himself. Sound familiar? Iverson, too, was painted as a villain by the media, criticized for being too street, too loud, or too real. Both stars lived in a spotlight that magnified their every move, and both had to answer for more than just their stat lines. But the question is, who learned from it? Iverson played with a chip on his shoulder. Every single night, he was a warrior, a survivor. The media didn't like him, but the streets loved him. He made being different powerful. Grew up in the aftermath of that movement. He had access to better resources, smoother branding, and more money early on. But with that came a different kind of pressure: the constant 24/7 presence of social media. One mistake isn't a rumor anymore. It's a trending topic. That changes the game. Iverson might have gone viral if he played today, but Ja was born in it, and that makes his road trickier. Every tweet, every photo, every action is a headline. Two eras, one energy. What makes this matchup so real isn't just the skills, it's the energy. The way both Iverson and Ja walk into a game like they own it. The way they attack the rim with no regard for their body. The way they refuse to be just another name on the roster. But while Iverson did it in an era that resisted change, Ja's doing it in an era that demands perfection. And as we dive deeper, the next question becomes, has Ja inherited Iverson's rebel spirit, or is he writing a new version of it? Allen Iverson never had a blueprint. He was the blueprint. He didn't care about what the NBA wanted from him. He gave the league what he brought: rawness, emotion, and realness. Every tattoo, every crossover, every press conference was Iverson saying, "I'm not changing for you." Ja Morant? He came up in a world influenced by that defiance. The cornrows, the trash talk, the bravado, it all echoes AI. But there's a key difference. Iverson was reacting to a league that tried to silence him. Ja was raised by a league that eventually embraced that style. And that's where the comparison gets complicated. Is Ja carrying the legacy forward? Or is he just imitating the parts that went viral? When you watch Ja Morant play, it's all flash. The step-back threes, the mid-air passes, the violent dunks, it's explosive. But when you watched Iverson, it felt like fire. Every drive to the hoop looked like it hurt. Every point he scored felt like it mattered more than it should have. Iverson didn't just want to win, he needed to survive. Basketball wasn't a brand, it was a way out. Ja plays with joy, with flair, with swagger. But sometimes you wonder, does he carry the same fire? There's no doubt Ja is one of the most exciting players of this generation. But excitement doesn't always equal greatness. Iverson didn't just excite crowds. He dragged a broken Philly squad to the NBA Finals. He averaged over 30 points a game in the playoffs while facing double teams, triple teams, and nonstop media hate. Can Ja do that? Let's talk mentality. Iverson never backed down. From the moment he entered the league to the day he left it, he played like every game was his last. He once dropped 55 in a playoff game while battling a dozen injuries. He led the league in minutes, points, and pain tolerance. He didn't care if he was smaller. He made sure the world felt him anyway. And that's what made him dangerous. You couldn't break Allen Iverson. He played through injuries that would bench other players for weeks. You couldn't humble him either, because he already knew the world didn't want him there. That edge, that mindset, that's what separates stars from legends. Now flip the lens to Ja. He's got talent, no question. He's been an all-star, a most improved player, and the face of the Grizzlies before 25. But his career already feels like a roller coaster. Not because of his game, but because of what's happening off the court. The gun incidents weren't just PR disasters. They made the league question whether Ja could lead a franchise. And while the suspension was short, the shadow it left was long. Fans started asking, is he serious about this? Does he understand what's at stake? Iverson had controversies too. But when it came to the court, nobody ever questioned his commitment. That's what Ja has to prove now. Can he lock in? Can he channel his chaos into control? Because if he figures that out, the league is in serious trouble. Allen Iverson's legacy is already stamped in history. He changed the way guards play, the way players dress, and the way fans connect to the game. Players didn't just admire Iverson, they copied him. His style still shows up in today's sneakers, fashion, and highlights. Ja Morant's story, still unfolding. He's got the bounce, the vision, the star power. But potential only matters if it's used wisely. If Ja learns from Iverson's struggles, not just his shine, he could go even further. But if the off-court chaos keeps growing louder than his game, he might just become another what if. Fans argue over who'd win one-on-one, AI or Ja, but that misses the point. This isn't about a single matchup. It's about who stands the test of time. Iverson already has. His name still echoes every time a fearless guard hits the court. Ja? His future's still being written, and that's what makes this clash so powerful. The past is legendary, but the future is still up for grabs. Who's the real rebel of the rim? Iverson, the fearless warrior who carried a franchise and never backed down? Or Ja, the high-flying star trying to stay focused in a louder, faster world? Maybe it's not one or the other. Iverson kicked the door open. Ja's still figuring out what to do once he's inside.